Saw a couple posts on the internet. Darius Shaquille Leonard has been released from the Indianapolis Colts. Yes.
Whoa.
The All-Pro, potential defensive MVP candidate just a few years ago. A man who signed a massive deal with the Indianapolis Colts just a couple years back, who has had a ankle injury for the last few years. That was actually a nerve injury where they actually had to do a surgery in his back at one point to kind of get it figured out so he could get back to being the football player that he was during the defensive MVP thing. And then Gus Bradley comes in while he's recovering from all these different injuries, puts in a different defense. So whenever Shaq misses like an entire season pretty much, this is the first year of a brand new defense, one in which he has not been up for defensive MVP. That was Eberflus's defense, who was in Chicago. So then whenever Shaq comes back, still introduced last when the defense gets introduced at Lucas Oil Stadium. Still the guy that everybody in Indy loves, the maniac. We love Shaq. This is our guy. We missed him the year he's out. He comes back. It's almost like he never had a place in the Gus Bradley defense that had already been created over the year that he missed. Zaire Franklin, fellow Q-Dog alongside Shaquille Leonard, kind of took his spot, ran with it, was beloved, leads the NFL in tackling at certain points. He does his thing. And there was just never a spot, for whatever reason, for Shaq Leonard in that defense. We would watch live, and on third downs, Shaq would be leaving the field as opposed to coming on the field. Still getting introduced last out of the tunnel whenever the defense would get introduced. Just not really making as many plays as he had in the past, but also not being on the field for as many plays as he had in the past. Really weird situation. Have no idea how we got to this point. I love Shaq. I was very grateful that we got to watch Shaq play here in Indianapolis. But if you've been paying attention the last 2 years, it has not been like a good situation football-wise for these two together. And I think injuries are a part of it, but I think transition was a part of it. And I think maybe a fresh spot will be good for him, but I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Hope so. First thing, hope he's fully healthy or gets back fully healthy, because Shaq in my opinion, he's like a rhythm player, almost like one of those running backs that, you get him a couple carries, take him out, get it like they don't work well. You get him a few carries, and he's always going to make that splash play. That's who Maniac is at his peak powers, and hopefully he finds that play somewhere else. But you mentioned a lot of it. You missed that time. And Zaire Franklin, who was kind of a special teams captain up to that point, once he got that opportunity, he never looked back, leading the league in tackles this year from wire to wire pretty much. E.J. Speed has stepped up, played some good football. And we've seen Leonard, Shaquille the last few weeks, kind of talking to the media and letting them know like he's disgruntled about his playing time. So hopefully he finds a fresh start. And obviously, hopefully, the Colts continue to be successful in defense as well.
AJ, he was getting that punch whenever he was playing. He I don't want to say, like, obviously, Peanut Tillman will always be remembered for it, but Darius was just like every single game. There was a pick or a turnover or a punch out or something taking place there. Jim Irsay has responded to the release here with a tweet of his own saying, "Tough business," I believe is the caption of this particular tweet. Yep, tough business with a heart, with his quote that says, "Colts Nation will always remember the Maniac's palpable energy on the field with each tackle, interception, punch out, and fumble recovery. Off the field, he's a servant leader and assisted numerous families in both his hometown and the Indianapolis Colts community. We're thankful for Shaq and the contributions he made to our organization. We wish him and his beautiful family the best moving forward." Well, I'll be.
Yeah,
here's the money, AJ. Here's the money. Some team will owe him $6.5 million if they pick him up off of waivers for the rest of this particular year. I'm sorry, $6.11 million for the remainder of the season. Next year he's under contract. 2025 he's under contract, and 2026 he's under contract. But I'm not sure how much of that is guaranteed and how much of it is just salary and everything like that. I think there's another $6.5 million due next year, I believe, is the next tweet in that group text. Yeah, Shaquille Leonard is making 15.7 guaranteed base salary, about 6 due for the rest. Has another 6.5 guaranteed for injury in 2024. So it's hard to imagine he gets claimed. In all likelihood, he'll clear and become a free agent. All right.
Maybe Chicago.
I mean, there are a couple
go to a contender. No, he'll go become a free agent, go to a contender.
Yeah, who knows how long Eberflus is going to be in Chicago, but like him and Eberflus' system was match made in heaven. I don't know if he's 100% healthy. We have no idea why it has happened, what it has happened. But, yeah, I guess a contender would be a good spot for, drop in Darius Leonard, Shaquille Leonard. Ian Rappaport tweeted Darius. Shaq's Twitter says Darius Shaquille Leonard. He was Darius Leonard.
Before.
And then he became Shaq Leonard.
Exclusively
Shaq Leonard. So I don't want to disrespect him. I got a lot of love for Shaq and Darius Leonard. for what he did to Indianapolis. This kind of came out of left field, though. I did not expect this, AJ. I did not expect this.
I did not expect it at all. And I've seen the interviews he's done in his locker, and they're asking him about playing time. He's like, I don't really know. Like, I don't really know how we're splitting them, when I'll be in, when I'll be out. And I think D-Butt made a great point saying he's kind of a rhythm player. I think most players would hope to kind of like, it's very difficult going in and out if you don't really know. And that's something that if you haven't done it in a while, especially, it's tough to do all of a sudden. And with how he is on the field, like he's such an intimidating force there in the middle. Every guy that ever catches the ball or runs the ball, when Shaq Leonard is out there and he's healthy, like they know where he's at because he is coming. He can punch you from 9 yards away, it seems like. Also, he can sit in the middle of that defense 8 yards deep, and his wingspan is so damn long. He can jump up and pick the ball over the middle. Like he just has such a presence out there. So I hope he can get as close to 100% healthy as he can. I hope he goes to contender, man, and kind of gets where it's just tough. I'm sure he doesn't want to be released, but he's probably thinking, okay, I need to go somewhere where the scheme fits and I can play.
I'm thinking there's a chance with the way the interviews have gone, and there's been a few times where I've watched practice or a game and I'm like, oh, Shaq's back.
Yeah.
Because he's like this in the middle of this. Because like you talk about being a rhythm player, he's a vibes guy.
Yeah.
It was like after every he was the juice.
Yes.
He was the juice for not only our defense, our whole stadium, our entire team. I mean, he was the guy, and then he came back, he kind of looked like a different guy. Wasn't as confident, wasn't flying as around, didn't have as much of an important role. Then this year he gets out there and it's like he's back. It's like, okay, we got Shaq Leonard back on this defense. We can find a spot to put him in there because he's such an instinctual player too. Now, granted, instincts are going to make you wrong every once in a while, but more often than not, he was on the right side of it. I have no idea where so we lose. I don't think I get it. No, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a full-blown crapshoot.
Well,
Go ahead.
My bad comment, but Pat, if you're not starting and playing every play, they want you to play multiple special teams as well, and you don't want to throw Shaq Leonard in there on punt and punt return, kickoff.
Yeah, especially at the linebacker position.
Yeah, no chance.
Yeah, especially at the linebacker.
He won't win Coach of the Year. Shane Steichen should win Coach of the Year just because of how much he had to deal with in 1 year. Think about his last 7 months or whatever. We can go all the way back to February. Loses a Super Bowl, gets hired as a head coach. Best player on offense starts holding out after he said he won it. Publicly. Quarterback they draft gets hurt in 4 of the 5 games he plays in. And then, you're probably not the best player on defense, but definitely one of the leaders of the team, definitely one of the faces of the team as far as fans go. And now he's gone. And
he was disgruntled publicly.
Yeah. And
you still got to lead and build your own culture.
Yeah, and they're still 5-5.
Yeah,
I think even with that, though, when he puts up that tweet, the immediate assumption is oh, he must be retiring. He must still not be healthy. I would have never imagined the Colts are just going to cut him.
So I looked. He played 70% of the snaps this year. When he was obviously going, he was playing 98, 99% of the snaps. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but the Steelers signed Miles Jack and Blake Martinez today. So, there is a team out there looking for linebackers right now.
Yeah, you think that's going to change some, you think old Pokemon seller maybe no longer on team?
Yeah, he got signed this morning, so that may be a quick turnaround because they lost Quan to an Achilles and an ACL.
If they both want him, the Bills and the Dolphins
could
both use a linebacker.
True.
Bad.
Very true.
Man, let's get to a break.
Very true.
When it was good here.
He was the best linebacker he reset the market. He was the highest paid linebacker when he signed his deal.
Who is his agent?
I think it was that dude who is with Jonathan Taylor.
Since that deal, I don't know.
Malky?
Oh, was that Malky? The MMA guy too. Yeah, he has MMA fighter.
Yeah, he's got a lot of money for guys.
Great deal.
Yeah, it was a conversation at one point between him and Fred Warner, who was the best off-ball linebacker.
Yeah,
that happened with Aaron.
Bingo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Aaron on this particular program said Fred Warner, best interior linebacker in the league. He and I know each other well. We go back. And then they played the Colts the next week. Mm-hmm. And Shaq met him in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, what'd you say?
What the fuck's that about?
And Aaron came on the show and he was like, I've known Fred since he's in high school.
No disrespect.
I mean, no disrespect to Darius Leonard. That was a real...
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully he finds it again.
Yeah, he's so good when he does.